Good evening, gamers. Welcome on into Retro Spack, the debut. I am your host, Odin. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday night on this very first episode of Retro Spack. What are we here to do today? Well, we're gonna play some Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Just an absolute stone cold classic. Just to start off the series. And I got for you an hour's worth of gameplay for you on original hardware that hopefully does not malfunction during this. And I hope you guys just have a chill time as I kind of talk to you a little bit about what Retro Spack is, and also just about Super Mario Bros. In general and what it means to me. But seeing lots of fine folks in the chat tonight. Welcome on in. This is going to be a recurring episodic program that you'll get to see every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can expect me here with another new game, or, well, that's an old game, really. We'll be playing a whole bunch of games for you, just ranging from, like I said, just classics like Super Mario Bros. All the way through to some obscure gems like Shrek Hassle at the Castle or The Adventures of Rad Gravity. Here's 1-1. Do I really have to explain level 1-1 to you? It's like, you know, it's Mario. This is like the birth of gaming. Well, it's not the very first game. It's one of the very first games that I ever played, and a just, you know, profound impact on the industry. I've played through it numerous times. This game has been released in many different forms. You know, you can play it backwards as Luigi, or you can play it in super fast in Speed Mario Bros. Or there was also even a Mario 35 where you could play against 34 other players in Mario. Mario 1 has just had such a big impact. And it's funny because, like, it's not even called Mario 1. It's just the way it's often referred to as, though, because it is the first one, and it's just a descriptor that we all know, because it's just what it is. You know? It's just Mario. Like, that's, and, you know, I hear some people talking, like, you know what, Mario 1, it's got some weird physics, you know, it doesn't hold up, and, you know, I'm here to... I'm here to quash on all the haters that, I'm telling you right now, Mario 1 it's a great game, and we're going to be playing through it in its entirety today, from beginning to end. I think we can do this in an hour. You know, by World 4, I'll have a little bit of a better estimate as to how we're doing, as we make our way on in. But this level, man, this one brings back some, like I said, I'll probably reference Super Mario Bros. 35 a lot during this, and this level brings back some memories, some bad memories of failing a whole bunch. Now, there is something I should have actually done, a little trick for you guys. If you actually collect all the coins in any of these Dash 3 levels, the next World's Dash 1 level will have a secret 1-up in it. However, I can't show that because I decided to not collect any of the coins because I'm in like this speed run mode for some reason. I don't really know why. Now, because we are streaming and this isn't an actual television show, I'm gonna do my best to stick to my little hour, hour time I have set here, but if we go slightly over, you know, I'll allow it. You know, we have a little bit of wiggle room. But I wanted to start this because I wanted an excuse to just play some video games again. And over the past, like, probably 10 years, I would say. Here's what there's a 1-up would be, by the way, if we got all the coins in 1-3. But, you know, over the past 10 years, I started a series, kind of like a self-inflicted series, The Year to Clear, where I attempted to basically play a bunch of new games for the first time. And I love playing new games. I very much do. But the thing is, I feel like every year turns into me trying to finish games I've never played before, and I turn a blind eye to the games that I've played, you know, probably more than a dozen times for some of them, but a lot of those plays were when I was younger, like when I was a kid, and yeah, I've played them a lot then, but now, how much have I played them? Now, Mario 1 I've played a lot, like, I won't lie, but I thought it'd be a great starting, a great starting game for this series, because people love Mario 1. But I really want an excuse just to start playing some games that I actually like. Games I already know I like. And don't get me wrong, we will play games I've never played before on here. We will play games that I have never beaten before on here. We will do that. That will happen over the course of Retrospect. This will happen. But, you know, I want to show you guys, like, just games that I absolutely love. Like, games I grew up with, games that, like, you know, kind of help shape, like, you know, my content online. I've been doing this for a while now, and I really wanted to show off something to really showcase that. You know, when I started doing Let's Plays back 2008, there was a little bit of that in there. But, you know, back then, gaming wasn't as old then, at least in my perspective anyway. It hadn't been that old yet. But now we're getting to the point where I'm getting there, guys. You know, I'm moving pretty far away from the release dates of a lot of these games now. It's getting a lot. So, you know, I really just want to play some games that I know I love. And I know games that you guys are going to love, too. And, you know, games I can just mindlessly talk like this. And just, you know, kind of just be myself. And, oh, man, we missed that coin. Darn it. Anyway, you know, just games we're just going to, like, just absolutely trash through. And we can just, you know, just be ourselves. So I encourage you, during this hour of gameplay, not just tonight, but any night, you know, you should boot up an old favorite of yours, and play along. It doesn't even have to be Mario 1, it could be any game, but, you know, I encourage you to use this time, to not only watch, but to play as well, because what's the point of having all these games, right, if I'm not going to play them? What's the point of, you know, it's a hobby, it's a pastime. I think a lot of it gets lost. A lot of it gets really lost over the, you know, with all the content creation and social media and everything. You know, it's just, you know, I just wanted to try and find a way where we can all just kind of relax. And yeah, this does definitely fall under the umbrella of content creation and social media for sure. You know, but at least it's just, it's just one, you know, it's just one. And like I said, it's an excuse to just to relax. So here's 3-1. We will again not be seeing the 1-up because I appeared to miss the 1 coin in 2-3 naturally, so we will not be seeing that, unfortunately. But I have to say, I'm really grateful right now for the huge response you guys are showing in the chat right now. It really does mean a lot. Part of my quirk with the Retrospect series is I see you guys, I'm talking, but I'm gonna try my best because this series will also be archived later for later viewing. So I'm trying my best not to just straight up one-on-one engage as just kind of part of it, right? but trust me, I'm seeing everything, and you guys rock. You guys are quashing it right now. So apparently I've created a meme in the very first episode of this. So I guess that one's not gonna be lived down. Oh man, we did not respect 3-2. A carryover meme from Mario 35. I don't know how we show the disrespect, but I did. I know, I'm awful. But yeah, you know, I want you guys to just take this time just to relax and just, you know, you should just play something. You don't, like I said, you don't have to play Mario 1, but just play something. And you know, I feel like we all get caught up in just, I think, like the you know, what's next, and trying to you know, move on to the next thing. And so this is a whole series of like I said, revisiting favorites. So what is the inspiration behind a lot of like why Mario 1? Why was the intro the way it was? Like what's kind of my goal right now? Well, as of right now, so I'm playing Mario 1, obviously, that's a given. I keep forgetting like 1 coin in each of these levels, man. I'm never going to show you guys a hidden 1-up at this rate. It's not going to happen. So I am playing games that I grew up with and owned. That is a big part of RetroSpack. So this cart specifically that I'm playing on is not my childhood copy, and I'll get into that more. But this is Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, which is the combo cart that, you know, I feel like a lot of people own if you own an NES. Surprisingly cheap way to play Mario, even in 2025. Considering, you know, games like Super Mario World, the literal, you know, probably biggest selling game on Super Nintendo, it was included with every single Super Nintendo. You know, it goes for like, what, $25 for some odd reason, and, you know, like, it's, like, there's gotta be more of that game than any other game on the Super Nintendo. Like, just a little silly to me, but anyway, this is where the 1-up would be if I got all the coins in 3-3. Anyway, Mario 1, oddly enough, if you were to play, if you want just the cart of Mario 1 by itself, actually more expensive than the one with Duck Hunt. So, unless you're just a retro gaming collector, don't bother with that. Just get this version. It's like I said, it's like $5, all right? Like, it's just, it's the one to get. So anyway, that's one thing. People who have been around in my Discord server, and just I've made little notes. I'm like, what am I gonna do with what's the polls? There's gonna be polls, right, for people who are like subscribed, or if you're a YouTube member. Like, what's the deal of that? What's where does that come into play on RetroSpack? Well, so we're playing games I owned, right? That's, like I said, that's a big part of it. However, we're gonna have weeks where we're gonna rent games. That's right. We're gonna head on to our local mom and pop video rental store, and we're gonna have a poll on what game we're gonna rent. Now, mind you, I do own all these games at this point. I don't own everything, but you know, I do own the games that are that will be in the poll, obviously. But you guys are gonna get to choose a game that I might have grown up with it, but like I may have played it a different way, like I rented it, or, you know, that's kind of the whole idea behind the renting part. Or it could be a game that I kind of recently discovered. But we're gonna have polls, and we're gonna kind of randomize what options get on that poll, and then the winning ones, that's what we're gonna play for the next week. I mean, unless we beat it, of course. That's how most rentals go. I mean, back in the day, you were lucky to get a game for a weekend. Thankfully, we're gonna have a lifetime rental on all these games. So if you are interested in being a part of these polls, they will be exclusive onto my Discord channel, which might be linked underneath my stream. I didn't have time to get I had lots of time, honestly, but I did not get the... did we get all the coins here? I did not get a chat bot set up beforehand. But if you have your Twitch or YouTube linked to your Discord, and you're either a Twitch subscriber or a YouTube member, you'll have access to those to that channel where the poll will be. The poll doesn't exist yet. I have not created it because I really wanted to keep under wraps everything about this before starting it, because I thought it was kind of neat to kind of keep everyone guessing as to what this was going to be. And I mean, realistically, the concept for RetroSpack, you guys already saw mostly what it was back in the end of May, early June, which I can't believe it's been that long ago now. But I was streaming Kirby Superstar and Super Mario All-Stars plus World, and those were just really short, like hour-long streams, just like this is going to be as well. And really, that's the whole concept. But I wanted to do a lot more with it. I know I wanted it to be real easy to run. I didn't want it to be like complicated, but I wanted there to be presentation. I wanted there to be something fun. So everything you guys are seeing right now, the music that played during, oh, I guess I did miss a coin. But, okay, not Mario music, obviously, but the music during the introduction, the trailer, the graphics you're seeing on screen, everything that's not the video game itself, or any of the video games themselves, I made all of it. It was all done by me. It was not commissioned or anything like that. And, you know, I wanted it to at least look cohesive and to have a certain look to it. And I find that it's easier for something to look a certain way if, you know, one person does all of the assets, etc. So I had a real fun time making all of it. I made the song so long ago. I made it like, I composed it in like a music scoring program, literally called MuseScore. And then I ended up learning how to use Famitracker to make it all NES-ified. After stubbornly trying to make it work with like, I wanted to have like Super Nintendo instruments, but it was significantly more difficult than just plug and play. So, so NES it was, which, you know what, I think it sounds great, and you know, I've only listened to it like a million times, you know, syncing up everything for this. But, you know, I'm just really glad that this project is going now, because now everything is just like all like ready to go, and that's it. Like I just don't have to worry about anything else anymore. I'm so happy. Yeah, even the clock that's in the background there, I actually wrote a program to sync up text that OBS would read for it. So even that has, like, it's more than just like it's more than just like me using some program. Like I mean I didn't write OBS, but I did write an actual program that is synced up to my computer's clock. So I think that's pretty fun. Okay, I think I'm gonna actually get the hidden one up in the next world here. We got pretty close. All right. Unfortunately, World 6 is like a really odd world. It's it's got a pretty notorious level. Honestly, I don't like a couple of them really. It's a very unique world. A lot of Mario 1, the levels do get recycled, but World 6 is pretty unique. Is very frustrating. Also, check out this fire bar that moves faster than anything else for some reason. I don't know why, but it do. So we can kill Bowser with Fire Flower. That was a Lakitu Bowser. So, oh, all right, we're into 6-1. Like I said, we are going to get our first secret one up, besides 1-1, which is always there, because you can't, there's no 0-3 world, so. But yeah, we got that Lakitu there, who's real frustrating, gonna try to rain on our parade. But the 1-up is actually right here, so. A little secret spot there. Yeah, and I'm noticing there's some viewers are noticing some little Easter eggs in the background there. I'm hoping that as we you know, continue to stream and you know, play more games, that maybe the background will be ever changing. Maybe some more Easter eggs. You'll also notice we have Crown 1 lives, which they eventually reference in later games. I think 3D Land? World for sure, but Land might too. Where you can get the Crown lives. I guess that's a reference to here. So I don't know why they did that, but they... I'm sure there's some programming reason as to why they changed it to a crown, but once you start getting a bunch more lives, the graphic starts getting a little glitchy looking. And that's something else we'll definitely see as we play more of these games on the original hardware, is we'll definitely be seeing some glitches. I got a little worried before we started. I was having some freezing issues, actually, which I had never seen before. And I didn't have any issue the other night when I was testing this, but I think I came to a conclusion as to why I was doing that. One, the NES is very old. Two, I need to fix the cartridge reader in it. Those are two a given. But three, I think there's just some failing parts on it. But... 4, the thing I'm actually getting to, man, there's a lot of reasons why. I read online, and no one said they had any issues with this, that you can actually use and don't try this now, because I don't want you guys to be to blame for something not working now, but, you know, don't try this at home. You can actually use a Sega Genesis Model 1 original AC adapter on the NES, and it has like a different current, but it like works with the NES, and it was working. I had no issues whatsoever, and it actually made some of the graphic issues that I've been noticing with this go away, and I'm like, oh, cool. But then all of a sudden, today, it started acting up, and I was like, well, maybe that's it. Like, what if that's the cause? And I don't know. Maybe I'm just gotten lucky so far, but I haven't had any issues yet since I changed it. So we'll see. But no, something I do need to do. I've been meaning to do for months now, probably almost as long as the inspiration for this project is. I've been meaning to clean out the cartridge reader in the NES, and I probably will do that when I know I don't need when I know I don't need an NES game to play anytime soon. So I don't know. probably, I mean, that could be pretty soon considering this project, but, I think that, no, I think it's the next pipe, actually. I always forget the secret one-up in this one. I did get all the coins in 6.3. I hate when they jump all the way through the bricks there. But anyway, a project I have been meaning to do is actually cleaning out the cartridge reader in the NES, which you can do by... I know this is going to sound crazy. Also crazy, don't try this at home. Boil it in water. But a thing that I've heard works very well. So it is something that I plan to do. And hopefully I will have great success with it, and it won't mess up my my NES that I've had since, well, a long time. I'm sure it'll be fine. I trust myself. You know, I've had some tech issues over the years. You know, I've had a computer catch on fire, but I'm positive that that it will go well. it has to, right? Surely it has to. Actually, something else that that I watched either yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. So as of this stream, AGDQ, Awesome Games Done Quick 2025 just happened. And they had... I didn't watch all of it, because I did have to get going, but I watched the first bit of it to kind of get the gist of what it was, and it was a race of Super Mario Bros. 1, any percent, so they used the warps in that. Which, granted, seeing how, like, it's only, like, 30 minutes into the stream, we'll probably be playing through this a couple of times, doing some different routes. But anyway, they had a 4-person race, and they were simultaneously being shown on the screen at the same time. It was very, very cool, especially considering that they were playing on like actual hardware, like I am right now. So this very same NES could have been hooked up to whatever tech they had, and I just think that's just really, really, really cool. So, but yeah, it was pretty neat. I definitely recommend watching that. I probably should watch the rest of it. It seemed like they had like a tournament series where, because they had a couple of races. I know they had more than one. I don't know if it was 2 or if it was much more than that. The block seemed long enough that it was probably more than 2. It was probably like 3, maybe 4. And it seemed like they had some kind of point system for, like, you know, first, second, third, or fourth. You know, it's kind of crazy that, you know, Mario 1 is at this point where you can play through it in, like, the same amount of time it'd probably take you to race, like, 2 or 3 Mario Kart tracks. It's, you know, it's everyone just knows it, or at least the community that's, like, into the speedrunning just knows it so well that they can just do that no problem. So it's very impressive watching it. By the way, this is a maze castle. We kind of have to take this path that I'm going here. It's kind of like a top, middle, bottom on that last part, and then it's like a top, middle, top there. And then you get into this uninspired Mario Maker hallway where, like, what was even going on? Like, what was Miyamoto designing with that little hallway there? It's just a bunch of gaps with nothing. Like, but, you know, one of the most famous games of all time. And we're into the last world of the game. I guess there is a hard mode of Mario 1 that, again, considering the time, we'll play through. I'm not as practiced with the hard mode of Mario 1, like, at all. We did get all the coins in 7.3, right? So we should be like the last one up, which is right here. As it goes away. I'm gonna somehow miss this one up. I was waiting for it to happen. I'm like, oh, surely that's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm not as practiced with the hard mode of Mario 1. But I did want to, I don't know if we'll get through. I guess we'll probably do warps. We'll do the warp zone for that. And then there, I don't know. like I said, I don't want to end early. But like I said, I just want these streams just to be really chill back, relaxed, and you can just do whatever you want for the hour. You know what I mean? Just play games. It's definitely gonna make some games a little more not undesirable is not the right word, but you know, if we want to play, say, I don't know, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, you know, that might take, you know, a while to do on a 3-stream a week, an hour each time stream series. So I'm not too sure how I'm gonna execute that. That is a game I want to play, but like I said, it might not necessarily. Wow, it's got a high jump there. Like, never see that in Mario 1. Huh. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna go about executing games like that. For the moment, I'm gonna be kind of sticking to these kind of just relaxed, just you know, short games like this. Mario 1, which looks like I'm gonna be able to beat like twice in the hour, versus like a game that's gonna take me, you know, 4 months probably to do. I don't really want to keep anybody, you know, especially if you're not into a game, you know what I mean? It's a huge time commitment, so we're gonna be sticking to definitely lots of short titles, but not always games that are like an hour or less, though. Like, we're definitely gonna be playing games with saves and passwords, and I'm gonna be trying to keep it, like I said, as authentic as possible. You know, we're playing on actual hardware here. I don't have like a flash cart that lets you do save states or anything like that. These are the actual games. This is how you would have played it back in the day, although you probably would have been playing on a CRT, not how I have it set up now. So. But, yeah, I gotta say, if, I think younger me would be pretty wild about the setup I got going on if you saw this now. Now, mind you, a lot of it probably wouldn't make a lot of sense, given the nature of it, but, you know, I was thinking about this today. Like, there's even footage, and these tapes are probably long gone. Oh, man, losing the Fire Flower right before 8-4, you hate to see it. That's our first death. Yeah, this level and the level after it, man, once you lose the Fire Flower, man, they just get way tougher. But anyway, yeah, no, there's definitely, like, young Odin footage of me playing video games. There was like this wrestling game rented on N64, and honestly, I could not tell you what I said in those videos, what I did in those videos. All I know is that it does exist, and you know, the early Let's Playing days, back when the N64 you know, was new. Like, that's how long. So, like, you know, I feel like if I were to show some of this to my younger self, he'd be pretty excited that there's people watching him play video games. I think that's pretty exciting. I mean, honestly, I kind of grew up doing that with my siblings, because we all kind of just watched each other play video games all the time. There's lots of single-player games, and we were all invested. You know, they weren't all multiplayer. In fact, you know, I would wager most of the great experiences from back in the day were single-player driven games, and we probably took turns, or, you know, or just watched one another play. Like, it was just fun. Let's see if I can do this wall jump. Wow. Let's instead get hit by this Koopa Troopa instead. I've never even tried to do this wall jump. I don't even know how to do it, so instead I'm gonna lose the Fire Flower going into what is the real boss of the game, which is not Bowser. Bowser's the boss of the game if you have a fire flower, I guess. But without a fire flower, I'm about to introduce to you, if you played this game before, you know. But the real boss of the game is this Hammer Bro right here. This guy, without a fire flower, absolute menace. And I'm surprised we got by him that we did. Whew. That was... Trust me, there's been plenty of death spirals where I lose many life to that Hammer Bro or that Podoboo on the way up from the lava. So it's, you know, definitely something I've seen a handful of times. But anyway, we beat the game once already. Woohoo! Let's go back in and let's beat it again. And if we don't beat it again, that's fine. But you'll notice that the Goombas are gone now. They've been replaced by Buzzy Beetles, an insanely more difficult enemy than a Goomba, especially in Mario 1. The only way you can take out a Buzzy Beetle is with another shell-like enemy, like themselves, or a Koopa Troopa, or a Starman. So there's not really a lot of options to take them out. I don't know if you noticed this, but Goombas are everywhere in this game. So yeah, you can't just even if you get a fire flower, it doesn't mean anything because they are immune to that naturally. Also, enemies move faster in hard mode too. So you unlock hard mode by beating the game once, and by unlock I mean it doesn't save or anything. If you want to play it again, then you gotta get to the end, which is not really hard because you can just warp. I'm like half tempted not to warp again, but I don't know if, considering the time, I don't know if we really will make it to the end. So I'm thinking we'll probably play through maybe the first 4 worlds, and then we'll warp to I don't know. I'll play through the first 4 worlds at least. And then we'll take a warp zone in World 4 to, I don't know, somewhere. Maybe not World 8. Maybe like World 6. I don't know. Because World 6 is just so much fun, right? We love World 6. Did anyone ever get the Game & Watch Mario? Super Mario Bros? Like the new, like not like the original one, but like the one from like 2020, 2021. So Super Mario Bros. And the Lost Levels, or the official Super Mario Bros. 2, but I'm definitely not getting into that right now. You can actually play those games on there. The reason I'm saying this is because that's actually a unique version of Mario. So once you beat it, you can actually access the hard mode levels, and you can continue to do so, like even if you turn off your system. And I think that's done by design because like the Game & Watch is meant to be played like, you know, like on the go, and maybe only a few levels at a time. So I think that's kind of neat. Actually, the title screen for the Game & Watch version, it actually has like the copyright date of whenever it came out, because it is legitimately different. There's no screen crunch or anything like that. It's not like playing Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on Game Boy Color. Man, there's so many ways to play Mario 1. That's an interesting one because like the graphics are exactly the same. But because there's way less vertical space on the Game Boy Color, there's screen scroll. Imagine this game with screen scroll. That's Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Like, just a very weird and wild way to play the game. Like it's just very strange to me. I don't know. I think it's a little weird. They did release it on Game Boy Advance, and I think that version, again, is different because the graphics are, like, shrunk. I think we got all the coins, right? Yeah, there we go. There's the one-up we missed last time. But yeah, so, like, technically another version, because they would have had to... It's not... I don't think it's as simple as just you know, squeezing the graphics down. I don't think it works like that. Sorry, I'm trying to go all bunch of different ways I didn't go last time either. So yeah, if you want another way to play, there's the classic NES series on Game Boy Advance. Classic NES series, Super Mario Bros. I think for a little bit, I remember finding at a garage sale Ice Climber and Excite Bike, I think I had. Or no, it was Bomberman, which is very weird because like it's not even like a Nintendo game. I don't know if they unless they published that one. I don't know if they published like Bomberman on NES. I really don't know. I mean, like, I know it's a Hudson Soft game, but I don't know. Maybe for that one they published it. It's just kind of a weird one, thinking about it. Needless to say, I don't think I ever played them. I think I ended up selling them. And I had them for a long time. Like, this wasn't like, you know, this wasn't like modern day where people are going around, you know, not to say that people aren't back then buying games to flip them, but I'm saying it's not as wide practice as it is now. But yeah, that was just when I was just trying to collect games. Just when I just wanted everything. Or just like anything that was a good deal I had to have. And you know, I'll still never pass up a good deal, of course. You know, that'd be silly. But I'd be a lot more hesitant to buy classic NES series, Ice Climber, or Bomberman in 2025. So. But hey, some of the games I have are because of that collecting spree way back when. So another thing that hard mode has is there are so during the first playthrough there was a couple of duplicate levels. Like this level appears later in 7-3, and there's like harder modes to it where there's like new mechanics. So this level in 7-3 has these Koopa Troopas. They're not in 2-3, but because this is hard mode, it has that. You also probably noticed that in 1-3 where we had the bullet bills and the shorter moving platforms from 5-3. Same thing, where they just basically they just give you the hard version. Like this here, this is the 5-4. Yeah, sorry, I had to think about it for a second. Yeah, it's weird. Like I always think of this castle as being harder than 1-4, but then once you get to 5-4, it's like it's this one again, and then 6-4 is the first castle again. I don't know, it's very strange. I don't know how I dodged that. Something I should try to do before the end of this is I should try to do the small Fire Mario glitch. It's not that difficult to achieve. It's pretty cool, honestly. It is very glitchy and very fun. I don't know of how much practicality there is to it. I guess you do have fireballs as small Mario, so I guess there is that. So that is fun. But I don't know if we're gonna do it. Again, I think I missed a coin on 2-3. So again, we will not be getting the hidden one up there. You know, thanks to everyone who's been around for the debut of this. I really don't know how I'm gonna take this series in the future. Like I said, as far as the chat goes, like I see what everyone's saying, and like I said, I'm not. It's not that I'm ignoring it, but I'm just trying to treat it a little differently than I do most streams. I don't know if it's gonna remain like that moving forward, but I have to say I'm really satisfied with the launch of this, because it's been going exactly how I wanted it to. Yeah, let's see if I can get this. Yeah, I don't know how to get the one-up trick at all. I've never been able to do it. But I think it's gone exactly how I wanted it to. And, you know, you guys have been incredible. You've been very generous. We're gonna respect 3-2 this time around. But you know, it's just been a fantastic time, And, you know, thankfully, there's been no hardware issues as far as the NES goes. And I'm not even, like, afraid to say that now. Like, I'm not, like, it's not even jinxing it, because, honestly, if something does happen, it's fine. Because I've already beaten the game at this point. So, you know, if the stream had to go down, then, you know, then it would. It would be fine. I wouldn't be upset with it at all. Alright, we're gonna try to get all the coins in 3-3 here. We failed, you know, 2, 3. But we're gonna actually attempt to get all the coins here. We're on a mission now to get all the 1-ups. You know, I know there's a website, Retro Achievements, and I have to imagine that maybe getting all the coins and getting the 1-up is probably an achievement, or several achievements, the legitimate way, as opposed to just... Because if you warp to the worlds, then the 1-ups would be there, because there's no way to play the -3 levels before it. So, but there's probably an achievement for that, I would imagine. I would hope so. It's just a different way to play games. Like I've mentioned, I'm playing this on original hardware, but there's lots of ways to play many video games, especially Mario 1 in 2025. Many official ways, many unofficial ways. I couldn't even tell you the best way. I mean, I feel like most video game purists would probably say the way I'm playing it right now. Now, I would love to be playing it on, like, an actual CRT television. That'd be great. It's kind of funny to think that the televisions that we thought were outdated from our childhood, which, well, yeah, they are. They probably would still be holding up because technology was just made different back then, and things just held up. But turns out they, you know, they worked really good with the video games at the time, almost as if they were designed, you know, with that in mind. Crazy, I know. Here we go. I never go over here, but there's actually a mushroom or fire flower there. This is a weird little area here. I don't really know. There's some areas where I'm like, why would you ever go here? But it's like, oh, it's because you don't know where that warp pipe is, so that's why you would go there. Which makes a lot of sense. But, you know, I don't have my NES modded to output at RGB, which is something it's capable of doing, but you can't do it natively, which is very weird that the NES is capable of outputting a video signal that you have no way of accessing. I wonder what the intended reason is for that. I wonder if that's like, if that was like maybe a testing thing, or like maybe they were like, well, no one will ever use this, so why even bother having a hookup for it? But yeah, you can mod your system to basically make it look as good as you would if you were playing on like an emulator, for instance. It can be done. I don't know how much something like that goes for these days. I've never looked into console modification when it comes to that. Now, the easiest console modification. Don't try this at home again. Well, do try this. Well, like, you know, don't blame me responsible, obviously. But probably the easiest console modification that's out there is the Super Nintendo. Nintendo decided that they didn't want people playing games that weren't made in the country they were from, so the physical cartridges for the Super Nintendo and the Super Famicom are shaped differently. And weirdly, all the difference between a Super Nintendo cartridge and a Super Famicom cartridge is like 2 pieces of plastic in the carts. And so they put exactly where those pieces of plastic would line up on the cartridges, they put inside the actual Super Nintendo. the lockout is literally 2 pieces of plastic that you can very easily just break off. It sounds so silly, and it is the easiest and cheapest console mod to do. It's probably the safest one to do because, like, you would have to really be trying to mess up your SNES. But, like, literally, you can use a pair of pliers. That's what I did. And then, guess what happened? My Super Famicom collection began. I think I did that because I really wanted... I can't remember if Rockman X3, which is Mega Man X3. I can't remember if that, or if... oh, we skipped the warp zone, didn't we? Oops. Oh, well, I guess we're not beating this a second time. Oops. Anyway, I can't remember if that was my first Super Famicom game, or if Seiken Densetsu 3, which is Trials of Mana. It's the sequel to Secret of Mana. Kind of. It's kind of like Final Fantasy, where it's like not like they're related, but that's, you know, they're not like linear or something like that. Anyway, I really wanted to own like the actual cartridge and play them, and so anyway, I ended up getting them. And you know, Super Famicom games, very, very, very cheap way to play some games if you don't really care for the language too much. Like, for instance, this game you're seeing right now, Super Mario Bros., do you really need to have this game in English? In fact, I would hazard a guess that it's probably, like, not even different at all than the Japanese version. I don't know, maybe there are slight differences, but I doubt it. I doubt it's much. I bet it's negligible. But yeah, there's lots of games out there. Like I said, Mega Man X3 is a big example, and I think the Super Famicom cartridge is starting to go up in price now because people are realizing, oh, it's really easy to play this on an actual Super Nintendo. But I'm surprised some games are going for the prices that they are, considering how easy it is to play them in other means. Not like unofficial, sure, but even official. But you know, there are those out there. I mean, myself included, where you know we want to play the actual console. Mind you, it's been a long time since I had my actual consoles hooked up. Honestly, that's like a really cool part of this series, is just being able to play all my games again, my consoles, carts. That's really fun. I've really been enjoying this aspect of it, because it seems silly to just like, well, I don't need to do that anymore. Because why? Like, there's no real reason why not. Like, it's not any more difficult to hook up. It's really not that inconvenient. I guess the difference is, you know, when I was a kid, you know, we had 2 consoles. We had the NES and we had the Super NES. Now, okay, maybe there's a few more. It's maybe a little more complicated. You know, there's storage. So, you know, there's all these other things that you probably don't think of when you just have a bedroom with your 1/2 consoles and just a little, like, third-party rack of Nintendo cartridges. Did anyone have anything like that growing up? I had, like, this little, like, cartridge holder that would, I think it held, like, I don't know, 15, 20 games, maybe. I can't remember how many we had, honestly, but I remember that thing. It was very cool. Whoa, the platform did not spawn. There was some sort of sprite limit there. That platform was not there, but thankfully we made it. Ooh, that would have been bad. That was pretty clutch. I can't believe we made that. That's so funny. But yeah, it's a funny thing about all the little, like, cartridge holders and just storage options nowadays. Like, I straight into that fire bar. Nowadays, it's kind of honestly a little difficult to have. I mean, for the amount of stuff that I have, like it's not very practical to use stuff like that because it takes up more room as opposed to just, well, stacking the cartridges on top of one another. I would really like to, you know, at some point not, man. At some point, I hope to not have them stacked on top of each other and have a nice little display. I think there's coins here, even if we don't get the one up, right? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. Okay. But yeah, I'd like to have a storage where I could like actually access them better. But the office space that we have now, it's just quite frankly not enough. But you know, I'm making do with what we have, and it's nice. I like the space, and like I said, maybe it's not as much storage as I once had, but it's definitely allowed me to downsize, which is kind of leads. We're kind of wrapping up towards the end of this here. But my collection has gotten a lot more manageable over the years because I've been starting to downsize my collection into, you know, I had a phase of needing to get everything, and now I'm in a phase of just trying to get the stuff I want. Now, thankfully, I can use the stuff that I don't want to kind of help me get the stuff I do want, so that is very nice, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I just want to own all the stuff that we had growing up, and that's kind of trying to do that kind of helped lead to me starting this, honestly, because I was like, oh, all right, I want to own all of those games we had growing up, and what's the next step? Well, I guess playing them again, right? Like, what else are you supposed to do with video games besides play them? You know, probably one of the coolest pieces of collectibles is a video game, because not only is it a collectible, but it's also something you can interact with besides just staring at it. Now, a lot of people do stare at their video games, and I'm trying to not be that. I want to actually, you know, interact with my collection. So, I'm getting pretty close to tracking down pretty much most of the games we had growing up. There's a couple of heavy hitters as far as price goes, but that'll come when it does, and you know, it's fine. I'm not gonna let that like worry me or something like that. It'll happen when it happens. You know, I don't need to play some of these games right now. You know, I don't need Madden 64, which is surprisingly very cheap game on the N64. It's like the last one I need. It's like a 99-cent game. You know, I don't need Wind Waker on GameCube or Liberty or Death on Super Nintendo. Not right now, but we will get there. And then, yeah. Well, guys, we seem to be reaching the conclusion of the first RetroSpack. We played Mario 1 once. We played on hard mode most of the way through. I know I said I could go into overtime, but I think would be if I was in like World 8, maybe. You know, if I had used the warp zone, maybe. But I want to try to keep these around an hour long, so I don't want to. I guess I could speed run to the end, but I think you can still. What? That hit me? Come on, that did not hit me. That's so funny. Come on, that did not hit me. But yeah, I do want to try to keep these about an hour long. So, like I said, it's about 8 o'clock now. If you are interested in watching more RetroSpack, we won't be playing Mario 1 next time. Something maybe a little more obtuse, or maybe something very mainstream again. Either way, you can look forward to more of this on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Additionally, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for an hour long. Please consider joining my Discord, where we will have the first poll very soon. And we'll have the very first poll probably within the week. And, please consider either subscribing on Twitch and following, or subscribing on YouTube or becoming a member. I'm trying both avenues of this right now. Thank you so much for all the support for tonight. I have to say, it was a little... I was getting a little worried going into it, but it seems to have turned out pretty dang good. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. And I will see you in 2 days for Retro Spack Season 1, Episode number 2. I don't know what game it's going to be yet, but I assure you it'll be a fun time. So have a good night, everybody. Take care, and goodbye.